Welcome, everyone, to Chirping Zebras, episode 73. Mark Riley alongside Gino Binder Jr., as always, coming to you from Harmon Golf Club in Rockland. And we had a great day.
Rock Vegas, baby.
Rock Vegas, yes. Stay over. You can't do Rockland in a day. We played golf this
Yes, we did. Well, we tried playing golf. Yeah.
Well, some
I
of us
shot a
did.
47. I was happy with that.
That's not bad. Yeah. You
Couple
filled that out
7
before you started, of course.
Well, I get a break 50, yeah.
Right off the hop, we want to thank our sponsor, the Referees Crease, your one-stop shop for all your refereeing needs, and we're going to have a little bit more on that in just a second. Also want to thank AOA Studios. Cam is in the house. He came down to shoot on site here at Harmon Golf, and we're going to actually learn a little bit more about Harmon Golf in a little video we're going to do. But first, want to bring on the person that's responsible for our sponsorship of the Referees Crease, your dad, Gene Binder. Gene, welcome.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, this is your second time, and of course this time you don't have a tie on.
Yeah, where's your tie?
Yeah, I mean, out of respect to somebody that last time got caught up in it, but I'm not a tie guy, as you could tell. I didn't even know how to tie it.
I don't have one of those shirts.
Well, I still say it was a clip-on.
What's a nice
but
shirt?
That's okay.
I'll sell you one.
Today was great here, playing golf.
Yep.
We played, of course, with our guest, which we'll get to in a second. But what a day.
It was a great day. Want to thank Greg Simeone for just a great day here at Harmon. I've been a member here for over 15, 16 years, and I can't think of a better
So probably
place to play.
7 years, yeah. Well, go ahead, yeah.
Don't let the facts ever get in the way of a good story,
Never.
man. Right?
Never.
No, you've been here a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place is
But,
great.
They treat you so well here, and Greg was very gracious today. He set us all up, and we had a fun day of golf, and hopefully when the video comes out about how we played today, it'll make a lot of comments.
I'll
So
tell
it
you.
was great.
I'll tell you what else is great about this place is the food, the hospitality,
Everything.
the practice range, the driving range, everything here. They got a par 3 course. Everything here you can imagine you want in golf is here.
Yeah.
What an incredible place.
And we spend a lot of time here. We take our grandkids down here, we eat, and they're all out hitting golf balls and playing on the short course. So
And my mother always has a nice bottle of Chianti waiting for her. So yeah, that's what she's taken care of. And
which
you know,
makes
that's-
sense.
so the real boss of
Yeah.
Referees Crease, by the way.
Chianti.
Yeah, the Chianti.
Chianti, yeah. I was just going to say
Yeah.
fava beans and a
Yeah.
nice Chianti.
But no, it was a great day today. Brickley was awesome. We had a lot of fun. A lot of good cigars out there today, and a lot of bad golf. But I just want to thank you guys for all you're doing. One of the things that I do want to mention, we're starting to head into the 25-26 campaign. If there's anybody out there watching that's interested in becoming a referee, feel free to reach out to Referees Crease. We can get you hooked up with us and USA Hockey and get you rocking and rolling.
And if you don't get hooked up with us, we can point you in the right direction. Like, we don't have hockey in every area, but we can definitely point you in the right direction.
Yep.
Making sure you're working no matter what, under what umbrella. It doesn't matter. We want you working. We want you reffing. Reach out, Referees Crease, and we'll get you going.
And just a final note before I let you guys get to where you're going. It's really about just making the game better, and the more people that we bring in that have a lot of hockey background, will make the game better for everybody with a better understanding. So, again, great day today. Greg, thank you for an awesome afternoon.
Yeah.
And Jay Durfee, you were a great caddy out there today. We want to make sure that you got mentioned since you took the time to come and caddy for us today.
And you got
Thank
a free
very
drink
much.
out of the deal, right?
He-
Didn't you?
Yeah,
He's-
I got
he
a
made
T-shirt,
him-
a hat.
Yeah.
We did
And
all
he-
right.
You did all
He
right,
had a
yeah.
chicken wing too. He's fine.
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out about the Referees Crease, it's not just a signing. It's not just you know, the training program.
Yes.
And I'm fortunate to be a part of that.
Yep.
Is excellent. And you really don't just throw kids out there and let them figure it out. That's the best part, I think, of working.
Well,
for the
I just
company.
had a call from a longtime Celtic friend, right? He's a Boston cop. His kid's 15 years old, wants to start reffing. He's like, listen, yeah, can you put him out there so he doesn't get yelled at and screamed at? I go, listen, it's not. That's not what it is. I go,
Right.
I'll put him like, he'll start out with the youth stuff, right? Like Mike Squirts and Pee Wees, they're not going to get yelled and screamed at, right? You got to go out there, you got to do your games, and it's all about learning and developing. And we'll put people with, the right person, so you're going out there and you're comfortable. You're with an adult, so you're not just out there, figure it out on your own. Like, you're not going to get thrown into the wolves. You're not getting out. It's not all screaming, right?
Right.
Not. It's like 1%.
Right.
Really.
Well,
like,
it's what I guess we call the social media factor where, you know, you only hear about the one plane that crashes. You don't hear about the 3,000 every hour that land in the world. Fine.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You only see those ones online that are the blow-ups or the, you know, crazy hockey mom or whoever it is.
Like, it's to the point where, like, I asked a guy that's done over 300 games for us, right? And he's also a coach. And I go, hey, what would you say the percentage of games that you've done in that 300 is really like you want to throw your stuff in the Charles? And he probably said 5%.
So, there you go.
Just rather quickly, we've done 11 camps so far this year.
Yep.
And one of the good things about it is we're seeing more and more kids that we never would see before. And we put them in a development program. We have a development program that's successful. We get kids into college hockey. We have the ability moving people around and not all levels of hockey. And we just had a couple kids that work for us out in the Midwest, and now they're working in the NCHC, and we got some kids working in other big leagues out there. So it's not just out here in the East. We really have a touch with all the commissioners out there. And
it's relationships, too. Like, I built relationships along the way with Johnny Grant, who's running the USHL, Keith Duvall, who's running the North American League. Like, you know, we're in touch all the time. We're talking, all the different supervisors in Division I. We're trying to build the path and try to build that, what we had coming up, right? And we hope that, you know, these kids have expectations and then, you know, a goal set, right? And you have to have realistic goals too. Everybody got to find their level. Women's hockey, men's hockey, college club. There's also D3. There's all sorts of different avenues you can go with and have a great, you know, career.
Absolutely.
And you know, even these things like this, you know, these guys getting hired by the National Hockey League right now. All these former players, right? Then they're not going through those journeys that we went through, right? They're just getting thrown right in. But there's 100 of those guys that are working pro hockey right now.
Right.
East Coast League, American League, Southern Pro League. You know, they think it's NHL or bust. I'll tell you right now, Division I college hockey is the next best thing coming. And, you know, minor pro is, right? American League, best league, and second best league in the country.
Yep.
Then you get the Coast League. And, you know, you're not going to last there forever. You're going to be there 3-4 years. Like, you don't want to be there more than that. Like, I was in the American League for 9 seasons, but that's a little different. But, you know, I was still on scholarship, so I can do that.
So it never ends.
No.
I was just going to say, you're still on scholarship.
Well, no. Are you selling the company or not? We want to get it out. Let's do it. No, but seriously, but like that journey, there's other alternatives than just make it to the National Hockey League, because there's really only 80 fucking referees in the National Hockey League. And, you know, for a swear bomb, not bad.
But I think we made 5 minutes.
That's pretty good.
I think we did, which is good. And, you know, if you're a regular follower of the show, you know how we feel about the system that the NHL uses now. And it's not just us. We've had Don Koharski, Kerry Frazier, a lot of the guys.
But I don't blame the people. I have no problem with the
not
people.
The guys,
the guys are hiring. I have a problem with the process, right?
Right.
Like,
no, exactly, 100%.
But also 100%. In the same breath, right? Like their system and their premise isn't wrong. They got hockey backgrounds. They're very good skaters. They're knowledge of the game, but that you need a game count. You need to see it, and you need to be like, okay, that's fine. You take 20 of those guys. I would say the 5%ers would come out of that, right? And that's what you need to do. I don't think the NHL is actually doing that. I think they're fast tracking way too many of these fucking guys.
Right.
And you're seeing it over and over. And
no, I mean we could go on.
Oh yeah, we went on
ad
and on.
nauseum about
Sorry, that hit a trigger for me, and we went off.
Well, believe me, I only lasted a week, so
too long.
You know,
I never got.
That's beside the point. So, listen, I know you guys got a great show coming up.
Yes, we do, and we want to thank again Greg Simeone.
Great job. Can't thank you enough for this afternoon. Had a blast, and thank you for all your hospitality in there.
You got a new visor.
Yeah.
Gino got a new hat, and check out this.
It was for credit.
I got some laundry too.
Yeah, mine was credit from all the tournaments I
paid for this. No.
Well, I didn't pay for
it.
I didn't pay for this beautiful shirt.
That is a nice shirt.
Yeah.
All right.
No, they got some good swag, good golf. Well, get your ass down to Harmon Golf.
Yes.
Sorry.
And we're going to take a look right now, a little bit, a video of what they have to offer, followed by a video of some of the golf highlights. Maybe we could call them highlights, maybe lowlights. Of
But
our
the orange ball's his.
of our round, yeah, it is of our round today. So
Absolutely.
we'll be right back after you take a look at this. We'll be right back with our great guest today.
On the golf course today with Chirping Zebras, Gino, Mike Riley, Andy Brickley. It's so friggin' hot. I know golf isn't really, it's not really a tough sport. Oh my goodness. Got the boiler going.
Joining us now is our very special guest. You might recognize him from Nesson. He's the color commentator for the Boston Bruins television broadcast, and also a former NHLer himself, a former Bruin, Andy Brickley. Welcome to the Zebras.
That's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So happy you're joining us.
Thank you.
We finally got it done.
Yeah.
It took a little bit, but we got you.
Well, my schedule is a moving target when
yeah.
it comes to the summertime. But yeah, it's good to be here.
Well, we figured we'd bribe you with some golf.
Yeah.
there at Harmon.
It
And,
worked. It worked.
Went pretty good. What were you, 3 over?
I was 3 over, yeah, but everybody played good. Like, we had a nice day. Yeah.
Oh, no, it was a great day, great day. I was 2 over after 4, and then 5 through 9, I was about 50 over. So I'm only counting those first 4 holes and that flop shot I had at the end.
That was
not
awesome.
bad.
That's the one that makes you coming
Right?
back. Yeah.
So,
almost
well,
sunk it.
Of all the great shots I saw today, that was number 1 right there.
All
Yes.
right, I'll take that. I'll take that all day. I'll take that all day.
It was a tap-in ball. You can ask for more than
No,
that.
I'll take that all day. All day. You played a lot of golf. Who's the best golfer you've played with?
Great question.
Well, I've played with guys on the PGA Tour, when I've been lucky enough to be part of fundraising events, and you play with guys that are required to be there, whether they like it or not. But as far as athletes that I've played with, I think the best player I ever played with was with Mario Lemieux.
No kidding.
Oh, okay.
And he was young when I played with him. He was like 19.
Oh,
And
wow.
he was probably like a +3 handicap. And it was like flawless, like just, it was, 6'6", effortless, little draw. The sound off the club was just like stuff I'm not familiar with. Like,
Right.
Right.
you know.
Well, he's called
And he's
Super
probably
Mario.
better today than he was back then.
I'm sure.
I mean, he can
And-
shoot a puck. I mean, he's gonna shoot that little pill. Like, jeez.
Well, he looks like he could get right back in there. I mean,
Yeah,
he's got a
so
little,
Mike Russo only has a tournament every summer. In fact, he has one coming up on August 25th up at Tedesco. And I like going to that tournament because Mario will be there.
Yes.
Like Mike's got enough juice that he gets
That's
big
pretty
name
cool.
guys, big name guys, and Mario and I, we were teammates, but I don't run in the same circles with him. But if I have a chance to see him and we can reminisce a little bit, that matters to me. So
Yeah.
That's pretty cool,
yeah.
man.
Well, that's the event I told Mario he was the 3rd best player ever. Didn't go over very well, but luckily he has a sense of humor.
After Bobby and then Wayne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
That's
You got
it, yeah.
In that order.
That is the order. You're not wrong.
That's the correct order. I said Bobby Orr, Gretzky did a few things,
Yeah.
and then you. That ain't bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
I
That's
agree.
the order.
I thought so.
All right.
That's Boston right there.
All right,
Yeah.
we're in lockstep when it comes to that. Then.
And I assume Mario must have been the best player you ever played hockey with, no?
Yeah, probably, but I'm partial to Bork.
Right.
All right,
Yeah,
so I
Ray.
played with Ray for 4 years.
Yeah.
I played with Mario when he was a kid, and he went on to do great things. But I played with Ray in his prime when he was at his peak.
Right.
And I started early in '82. I played with Bobby Clark. I played with Darryl Sittler. Then I went to Jersey. Well, I played with Mario in Pittsburgh. Went to Jersey. I played with young guys like Kirk Muller, Patty Verbeek, Johnny McLean, guys like that.
Right.
But Boston with Ray and Cam, those were the years, right? We had great teams.
Yeah, you did.
Just
Awesome
just
teams.
not good enough, but we had great teams.
Well, you ran into
Yeah, but
Edmonton.
I think for the body of work, I would put Ray ahead of Mario only because Mario was just a kid when I played.
Right.
So-
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation with a former guest of ours, Greg Murphy.
Yeah.
The other night we were doing a show and we were discussing the best defenseman of all time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And yeah, it was, and he thought Bork, I had Orr, which you're splitting hairs really,
Right.
but and then we talked about some other ones that kind of fit in there in the top 5.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting discussion because obviously they played in a different era, but
Yeah,
you know,
hard to
I'm-
compare, right?
Yeah, very hard to compare.
Yeah, I would go Bobby, Ray, then I'd probably go, I wasn't around for Eddie Shore, trying to keep it all Boston here.
Right, right.
Yeah, right.
But Lidstrom, how do you look beyond Lidstrom?
Lindstrom. Best.
Lidstrom was unbelievable.
Right.
So that'd be 1, 2, 3 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
had
a good
Rod
3.
Langway up there too.
Oh, UNH guy, man.
Yeah.
You got to pull for,
Yeah.
Say that.
Lotta.
Randolph, baby. American.
Randolph,
yeah, of course.
I went to his hockey school a
He
couple
gets a
years
big
in a
vote
row.
for me, too, yeah.
And that
I'm with you.
Randolph rink that is still there.
It's still there. My
So he
daughter
went-
plays there. Yeah, I can't believe it's still there.
So he played football at UNH. He was a catcher on the baseball team at UNH, and he was, the best defenseman at UNH when he was in college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good shift.
Yeah, that's an athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of hockey players. I mean, they say the Sedin twins could have went pro in soccer, which you could argue isn't real as far as a sport, but it's pretty impressive. So I'm glad I put Rod up there. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think I always say the greatest players are those players that can play in any era, because it's tough to compare even with just technology these days. I said, can you imagine if Brett Hull had the technology of sticks now? I mean, his shot was just ridiculous as it was.
Yeah.
Now put the flex in. But I think Bork is a guy who could have played in any era, including Bork, including Mario. Those are the kind of guys that could just, it doesn't matter when you put them in, they would be standouts.
Yeah, so when I think of that, and it's always worthy of a good discussion, right? But when I think of that, I go right to how they think the game. So the players that think the game could play in any era, right? No matter what their skill set was, right? So Brett he was a pure goal scorer.
Yeah.
He knew how to get open. He had a great release. Could beat the goalie from anywhere inside the offensive blue line. Like anybody like that can play in any era. But the best players could think the game, no matter what the era was, and to me, that's what stands out.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you the best conversations that I've ever had are with guys that understand the game, all the moving parts. There's 10 people out in the ice moving at the same time. And guys that can sort it out and anticipate and know where the puck's going, and then use their skill set to the best of their abilities. Those are the best players, and those are the guys that can play in any era.
So we're talking about.
And I put Ray in that category.
So we're talking about
yeah.
Bruins defensemen, right? So you had the Borks, you had the Chara that took over forever. Now, you think McAvoy could be that guy? Do you think? I know, right? You think so? The Bruins always had that one stud defenseman, and great kid, awesome human being, right? Yeah. He has the skill set to do it. I hope he has the jam to do it. Do you think he could come back this season? I really that's the key to the Bruins moving forward, is that top defenseman, that top paired defenseman. Do you think McAvoy could be that guy?
I do.
I do too.
Mean, that's as direct as I can answer that question. Okay.
I love it.
He has all the attributes.
Yep.
He has all the skills. I need him to believe in himself.
Love it.
Okay. It's his room.
Mm-hmm.
They need him to be the leader that he should be.
Yep.
And I think that no matter what's happened over the last 18 months, questioning himself, injuries, not being available, whatever it is, new contract kicking in, the pressures that involve it, he's the guy.
I agree.
He is the guy. He's the next torch carrier.
Yes.
And I expect him to be that guy this year.
I can't agree with you more.
I agree too.
I remember just repping him even in the summertime and stuff, being on the ice with him when he was at BU and things like that, and just my interactions with him off the ice. He's a leader. He's someone that he needs. I always tell even our referees, right? Each year it's a new slate. Clean last year, wipe it away, come in fresh, make the mistakes, grow, be a leader, right?
Yeah.
And flush last year, injuries, the whole thing. He was toiting up, right? That USA, that him coming out there, that was his coming out party. Let's go. And he's still a young kid. And I think he can just elevate to that next level and be a top 5 defenseman in this league and carry team.
He's an automatic for the Olympic team. They've already announced it, so
he's a leader.
It tells you what,
Character.
USA Hockey thinks of.
Right. Good point.
So, and I think he's one of these guys that he's going to have. He's having that moment of some of the greatest people in the history of whatever, sports, politics, whatever. They have failures.
Yes.
And we're going to put failure in this past season as part of that category. And this is a great opportunity for him to respond. And that's my expectation. I assume it's yours as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
And even if the goal production isn't there or whatever, right? He's on the power play, penalty kill. He does it all. He is.
Control the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take over a game when it's required. And
Exactly.
he has the capability.
And he could be a lockdown defender too.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, he not only has that
He's a two-way
offensive
player,
talent,
right.
but he has that
Four
ability
Nations,
to shut
the
it down.
highlight you see is when he was burying people.
Right.
Oh, crush
You know, it
McDavid.
wasn't carrying the puck and scoring a goal. It was burying
Right.
people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now and we can talk about the Bruins now because we're on it. Defense, I think, is the biggest question mark. Is it not for them coming up this season? I mean, I know they have a lot of questions.
They do.
I like
All
their
right?
defense.
They do have a lot of questions, but I think they're missing, like we talked about it today, that right defenseman. They've always had that, guy in the history of the Kevin Millers and the Johnny Boychucks. Do they have that guy? Could they have that guy?
Yeah, that is a good question. But there's a lot of ifs on this team.
Yeah.
Right. And we hope they're going to be a playoff team. You get into the dance, you never know, you get a chance. So, but that's the goal going into the season, be a playoff team. Okay, so what does it take to be a playoff team? I am a believer in having three defensemen that you can roll
Yes.
all night long.
Mm-hmm.
So McAvoy, Lindholm, and who, right?
Right.
So Carlo was kind of that guy when they had him. So he's moved on. All right, so who's the third defenseman? Is it Zadorov? Is it Yoki Haru? Is it, the young kid number 6? Is
Can
he
Laura,
will-
can
Laura
he,
is like
can he step up?
yeah,
I think his
good
ceiling's
offensive
huge.
skills and everything,
Yeah.
but is he willing to do what it takes to play a little defense? So that is a big question mark. It's definitely a big question mark with this team, but I believe that the elite teams in the league have a big three.
Yep.
A lot of people talk about, well, you got to have a top 6. No, tell me that the teams have a big three on the back end. Now you got a chance to be a playoff team and be very good.
That's why there's a
and
reason.
that's what we're looking for.
Defense wins championship, offense wins games, right? I played defense.
No,
That
you
was
played
always
defense,
so
that's why.
that was our slogan.
Yeah, well, I think, what worries me is if they go into the playoffs with this group, Lindholm in the playoffs has not proven himself at all.
He's been injured
Hampus
too.
or
Yeah, Hampus, yeah.
Hampus, the defense, not Elias, Hampus.
Okay.
I don't want to say he's a typical European player, but the playoffs start and he kind of disappears. And that's my concern, is going into the playoffs with him as your number 2. I don't know. All right, neither of you agree. I just worry about him in the playoffs. that's
I
all.
don't worry about him. I think he'll be he's an offensive threat. Like he's really good in the power play, right? Just let him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's not a defensive liability like Lindholm is, but I mean, like Lorai is, but
Or
No,
Zadorov.
I brought up the point. There's a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's one of the ifs.
Yep.
Like, he is a tremendously skilled player.
awesome.
100%.
Can skate all day. He's bigger than you think he is, right?
Yep.
He's stronger than you think he is. He can contribute offensively. He can kill. He can do it all. All right. So if you're worried about him in the playoffs, he's at the point of his career where this is time to make a statement. So this is one of
True.
the ifs. Like, here's an opportunity for him, right?
Yep.
To step up and say, all right, I wasn't available last year, but I'm really good. You guys committed to me a couple of years ago, give me a long-term contract, guaranteed money. I'm going to show you the value. Like, when McAvoy was on the shelf a year and a half ago, he was like Norris Trophy caliber, the way he played the
He was
first,
awesome.
the
Yeah,
first
I remember
8
that,
weeks
yeah.
of the
No
season.
question.
Right? So, and I think we're back in that same situation, that this is an opportunity for him, and he's smart enough to understand that, and I hope he seizes it.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So for you, Bruins color guy. Now, how did you make that transition into that role? How did you find yourself as I grew up with Derek Sanderson, Fred Cusick. Absolutely
awesome.
love them,
Those
right?
guys
Like
are
the
awesome.
the best. Like when I watch a Bruins game, that's what I want to listen to, right?
I'll go back even further. Fred Cusick and Johnny Pearson were.
Exactly.
Oh,
what I grew up
jeez.
with.
There you go.
That's the MC, yeah.
Oh, you're a fossil.
Yeah.
You're a fossil.
But like honestly, like I really enjoy listening to you on the television. I love when you work national games too, like when you were on ABC, what all those other channels. But like, when did you realize in your career that, or whenever this opportunity came, how did it present itself, and when did you just seize it and just take the reins?
Well, Well, I'll start by saying I had no plans on doing this at all. Okay.
Yep.
I was still kicking around in the old IHL at the end of my career. My NHL days were over, but I could still make a living playing hockey. I was
Right.
playing out in Denver. I was playing in
Check
Salt
dozen
Lake.
pounds, right? Yeah, having
you know,
fun.
Yeah, and you know, love the game, love playing,
Right.
making a good paycheck. But I had a family back in Boston.
Yeah.
You know, I had a wife, I had daughters, and I was home for a summer, and I was coming off my 12th surgery or whatever it was, and I got a phone call from WBZ Radio, and they said to me, "Are you going back to play?" And I said, "I'm planning on it." Why? He said, "Well, we need a color guy
Oh shit.
for radio to work with Bob Newmeyer, the late Bob Newmeyer." And they said, "We'd like you to come in and audition." So
No kidding.
I said, "Well, eventually I'm gonna have to retire at some point. I should go see what that's all about." So I went in to the audition, and they offered me the job on the spot.
No kidding.
Yeah. So then I had to make a decision. Am I
Right.
ready to retire? Is this something I want to do?
Yeah,
so,
right.
So I didn't chase it.
Right.
It kind of came to me.
That's cool.
And then I asked WBZ, I said, "How did I end up on that list?"
Yeah, good
of,
point.
You know. And they said, "Well, we went back," because they were affiliated with Channel 4, and they were like, "We went back and we looked at a lot of
Interviews.
interviews.
No shit.
You know,
That's wow.
you know, like who's comfortable in front of the camera, you know, the substance of their answers, and they said, you know, that's how you end up on the list. And I don't know what the list was. It might have been like Terry O'Reilly, Brad Park, and Nevin Marquardt. I don't know who was on the list, right? And they said, plus you're from Boston, so people will believe you because you know the history of the Bruins just because you grew up with it.
Yeah.
You know, like, so that kind of gave me a leg up. But they offered me the job, and then I had to decide whether I wanted to take it.
Right
so
on.
I did.
Good for you.
I said, time to retire. My body's beat up. It's quitting on me. So I did 1 year of radio with Knew Me, and then Fred and Derek retired, and then I moved over to TV.
Slid right in.
That's kind of how it happened. Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's not a great. It's not a great story for those that are going to like Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Well, no, I'll tell you. Well, that's how a lot of it. Like honestly, that's how the NHL's doing it right now with refereeing. They're taking a former player, throwing them in, and then they're in the show. But no, but honestly, like, I mean, those interviews, like, look at the NFL, like Bill Belichick. Like, you're coached up in those interviews. You got to, you know, be presentable and know what to say and have like charismatic qualities about yourself.
Well, here's the thing about hockey. The game is so fast, right? As a color guy, your windows are so tight.
Right.
Right? You got to get in, you got to get out. You don't want to be making a point while something's happening on the ice and the play-by-play guy needs to be calling it because that's what the fans want.
Right.
So you got to get in, get out. You got to be insightful. You got to be educational. You got to be maybe add a little humor. Like it's a fast game. Like,
Yes.
so I know a lot of guys that know a lot of hockey, you know, but can you do it in those windows? That's
That's an art.
that's
That is an art.
the
That's
hard
an art.
That's the hard part.
And I honestly think you're one of the best in the business. I'm not just saying that because you're sitting next to me. Like, I grew up watching, following, being the biggest Bruins fan possible. And, you know, like, you're unbelievable.
You have to
I
have the
appreciate
ability
you.
to talk to, you know, like totally educated hockey fans like you guys.
Mm.
But you still has to be able to talk to the novice fan.
Right.
You know, like you can't talk above them, don't talk below them, talk to them.
Mm.
And you want anybody that's watching the game to feel like we're all sitting in the same room, we're all sitting on the couch, you know,
Right,
watching hockey together.
I can shut the game off and I can listen and I can still see what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's
so
what
if you
when
can
you're-
do that, I think you're a pretty good analyst. You know.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to take a replay. And the beauty of hockey is that there's two sides to the puck, right? So I could watch the same exact replay from the same camera angle 12 times, and I'll give you 12 different things to look at.
Yeah.
And that's a good analyst.
Right.
Because there's two sides of the puck.
Absolutely.
Here's what the offense is trying to do. Here's his options. And then defense, like that's what you have to. That's the way to approach it, in my opinion.
Now you took over for Derek, right?
Yeah.
For that's not an easy act to follow.
not at all.
I mean, my favorite was always, Derek Keys to the game, score more goals than the opponent, right? That was, and I swear he said it as a joke, I bet, the first time, and then he just kept with it. But he was just such a character. Former guest on the show.
Yes, yeah, we had him on.
But, kind of stepping in those shoes was probably, you kind of have to establish yourself because you don't want to try to be him because I don't think anyone could be him.
Yeah. I don't know if I gave it much thought, Mark, to be honest with you. He was personality plus. He was one of my favorite players growing up. Like I idolized Derek Sanderson. I was fortunate enough to have great conversations with him when he was doing color, when I was playing with the Bruins.
That's cool.
So much admiration for him. And when he decided to say he was done, he tried to time it when Fred called it quits, And for me to step into those shoes, like I can't compete with that. I just got to do it the way I do it. But I'm a huge Derek Sanderson fan, and I'm like everybody else that was a Bruins fan in that stretch of years when he was doing color.
Yeah.
Like he was awesome, absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And he was gracious, like when he was done, to wish me the best and anything I ever needed. All I had to do was ask him.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, I mean, you might do it differently than him, but I'd say, you're great at what you do.
Yeah.
Even though it's different from him, your color commentary, like you just said, it's succinct. It's
I think my strength is more analytical, and he was more brilliant hockey man, but he was more personality.
That's a good way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like Remy in baseball.
Yeah.
Like he was.
That's a good comparison. Very good.
Eck was the same way in baseball.
Eck had more,
Yeah.
time to party.
Eck is
where
awesome.
Remy would break the game down.
Right.
So, like, I guess those would be the analogies.
So one thing I do appreciate about you in listening, I can, Jack Edwards was a little different listening to.
I was just going to bring him up.
About how he handled referees and what the calls and everything like that. I used to have to mute it and I'd throw a clicker and I'm like running around the house going, ah! But like you, the way you present it, you're like, hey, the referee felt differently. The Bruins got to go on. The stick was in there, so they're gonna go for 2 minutes, and they're gonna kill it off. And like you just stayed your tune. You never once waved, but and that must be so hard for you. But my question really is, like Dave Starman, he comes to training camp and all that kind of stuff. Like, have you ever done any history or any referee background or any rule education to help you in the analytics part of it?
One of my weaknesses is I don't know the rule book as well as I should know.
You got to call the Chirping Zebras. We'll help you out. We'll take care of that.
Wait a minute. We know plenty of referees that
I read the rule book.
It's complex. It's really complex.
And there's some gray area.
Very great. It's not hard
some
covered.
Of the rules.
It's not hard covered for a reason.
Yeah, and we have our broadcast meetings at the beginning of the year that the league.
Right, all that. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Formality, right? Yeah.
But even at the end of those meetings, I'm still confused as to some of the interpretations, and I hate that about myself that I don't have it completely down when it comes to the rule book. But I mean, how lucky was I to work with Jack for 20 years?
The best, right?
Right. Like let's start with that.
Yes, absolutely.
I was going to ask you what.
No, honestly, he really was an incredible inspiration, and he was energy. He was the Bruins' energy for how many years?
What he had to say
about the refs. I take it personal.
I'll just sum it up. When they won the Cup in 11, and we were lucky enough to be on one of the duck boats.
Sick.
And the outpouring of love for Jack.
My wife loves him. My wife absolutely loves him.
Was over the top.
Yeah, my wife wanted to give him a hug and kiss.
But as far as, I wish I knew the rule book better. I wish the interpretations were less, gray area. They're more black and white. And I think they're still trying, the league, to knock it down so that we can.
Well,
all
like honestly,
understand it.
Brick, like even some of the times, right? They're not even getting the calls right either, right?
No.
So like that confuses the commentary.
And I
that,
understand
right?
the difficulty of the job or the officials and the pace of the game, and you know. And I don't like myself when I get mad at a referee for not having a feel for the game or like making the wrong call. But I get it.
Right.
You know, so you try to understand the humanity of the job, and
Right.
you know, but you know.
Trust me, I haven't flowed through a game as a supervisor, right? And I'm sitting there going, "What are you guys doing?" Like I get frustrated, and not like so. Not only that, the commentators must be getting frustrated. Then you listen, then you all go watch the tape. And then you listen to the commentator, and you're like, you know, so they're on the same page as us watching it. So like, you're not wrong doing that.
No, I was a big time baseball player. I wanted to be a pro baseball player, and that's where my life was going before hockey took over. You know, and I use the example of an umpire, right? So 2-1 count, right? Guy makes a pitch, it's off the plate, he calls it a strike. The 2-2 count versus the 3-1 count changes the game.
Yeah.
Not only does it change the at-bat, it changes the game. So that's why I get in, you know, this is my mind working with the officials,
Right.
making a call that's not the right call at the right time. It's-
Right, that's why it's so important. Like my wife used to say to me, like I ref Division I college hockey at a peak. I ref American League for 9 seasons, but like really, like the college hockey, like you can't make mistakes through the season because you only do 20 games. American League, I'm doing 80 games a season, 83 games a season, right?
Yeah.
You could fuck up 20 games and be fine. But no, you can't. But in college
you
hockey,
did.
but college hockey, you're only getting 20 to 30 games, right? So like if you make a mistake in there goes your playoff opportunities, there goes your NCAA bid, there goes boom. And that's all money out of your pocket. Like you're not advancing and you're not making that money and you're not getting those accolades, right? Like my whole thing was I wanted to, like every single game I took fucking serious and I didn't want to mess up. And if I did, I went back, watched the tape and boom, I'm not making that mistake again. So it's like the referees under that kind of strict scrutiny too, and they can't make mistake. And if they do, they're on the outs, and they're not making that extra money or that paycheck. But I don't know.
So, speaking of refs, when you played, because and we've talked about this, we've had Don Kowarski on, Kerry Frazier, Paul Stewart. They had personalities. You knew what you were getting when they came in the building, right? AVH, Andy Van Helmont. Like, who was the referee that you connected with most, as far as how they not necessarily called the game, but more communicated the game?
Right, so back in the day, you had one ref, 2 lines.
Yep.
So that referee, you knew how he refereed a game.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What he saw, what he allowed, what he didn't allow. He had a personality. He had a way he called the game. You knew before going in what you could do and what you couldn't do. But to answer your question, Billy McCreary was my guy.
The best.
Okay.
Yeah. Billy was a guy you could talk to. You know, he wouldn't look down at you. He didn't feel like he was a voice of authority, even though he was as an official. You know, they were the guys I didn't like. You know, the Denny Morells of the world. Did I say that?
Did anyone like him? Honestly.
I had the fortunate ability to be supervised by Billy, and I refereed with his son Mike. And like Billy gave me the best piece of advice: be a prick, not a dick. Right? That's how you got to approach it. Like sometimes, I'm sorry I have to make this call right now, but like you just did that, right? Like you got to be a prick sometime. Like sometimes, like you don't have to.
But
like,
you wanted a relationship. You know, whether you're a role player or
100%.
a star player, you want to have a relationship with the official. You know, and I think Billy allowed that. You know, like he welcomed it. You know,
you have the good ones do.
Yeah.
Epic lip sweater, too.
Yeah,
And the game wasn't about him.
Right.
It was about the sport. It was about the players. And he tried to walk that line, and I thought he walked it pretty good.
Yeah, that's a fine art to master, to say the least.
Now, he had the moment in the Garden when Ron Asseltine buried the guy into
I was
the
on the
boards.
ice for that.
I
I was taking the face off.
No shit.
I was going to say, I knew you were on that team, but I didn't know you were on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when the fan jumped the glass.
I couldn't believe what was going on.
I know. And Terry O'Reilly, which I want to talk to you about playing for him.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, he was going nuts because there was a high stick that was missed.
Yeah, well,
and, no, which happens.
Yeah.
But Ron Asseltine.
Rumor has it Taz is an emotional guy.
Really? Really?
You know, I played on teams where there was always one player in the locker room that was like the emotional needle of the team.
Yeah.
And my first year in Boston, I played for Taz. He was the emotional needle, and he was the coach.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like that was a first for me. And I was coming from Jersey, and Jimmy Schoenfeld was my coach.
Right.
I don't know if you remember. So '88, we lost to Boston.
Yeah.
in Game
Oh, yeah,
7,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was that whole series with the referees.
That was the
and-
donut.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Talk
I had
about
some
that,
great
yeah.
stories about that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but Terry was like, he was the emotional, like, unbelievable.
I love watching
Unbelievable.
old Bruins fights, and when like he was the coach on the bench, like I never seen
gets
someone
so
like
into it.
want like he
Oh,
like
yeah.
he wants
Oh,
to
yeah.
go out there and fight him. Like
Yeah.
it's so funny watching him on the bench.
Yeah,
Now-
he was such a passionate guy. And I loved playing for him. You know,
How do you?
I loved playing for him, but he scared me. I got to admit.
I was just going to
He
say.
did intimidating
Like
dude.
today's game, it's more about partnerships and, you know, getting along with the players. And, you know,
It's a little different.
back in the day, I mean, we played for coaches that were tyrants. You know, like, you know,
Yeah.
you knew who had the.
And the tyrants,
You know
of the
who was in charge,
Those
you know?
coaches are getting like shelled out now. Yeah.
Well, because the new age athlete can't handle it. I mean, we've seen it, you know, time and time again. Because you went from Taz to Milbury,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and Mike Milbury, Mike say he's a little emotional.
Yeah, you know, these guys were Bostonians. They were Bruins. They knew what it meant to be a Bruin. They knew what worked. You know, they were working for Harry Sinden. You know, like Mike was the best coach I played for in the NHL, and I played for
Really?
a lot of different guys. But
That's awesome.
Milbury was a great coach.
And what made
Unbelievable.
him so great?
He had such a feel for each individual player, what their skill set was, how to get the most out of them. You know, they say press buttons or whatever, but during the course of the game, he had the ability, and you might find this simplistic, but he had the ability during the course of the game to change what we were doing in order to impact the outcome of the game. So,
That's awesome.
you know, a
Well,
lot of
that's-
times back in those days, coaches said, get the guys in shape, give them a game plan, and then go. Well, after the first period, if it ain't working, we got to change something, right?
Yeah.
So you need to have players that understand that and can think it and make changes. But you needed a coach that had to recognize it and say, all right, we got to start doing this. And Mike could do that. And that's why we're so good under Mike as a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
He needs to get back on TV too.
I couldn't agree more.
Like
Yeah.
he was awesome. I loved listening to him on TV. Like he was awesome.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's not vanilla.
No, he is not. And he'll like, and you know what? Like Eckersley, same deal, right? Like the whole thing with the price thing, right? That guy, I could listen to him call a game all day long.
Yeah.
Like the best.
Now, as far as like TNT had the playoffs this year, along with ESPN, and they had their crews.
Yeah.
You know, I thought TNT had a great crew. When Gretzky with Biz, I think they, you know, and of course Henrik Lundqvist, no one dresses better than him. His outfits spot on every night.
So I need a bigger stipend.
Yeah.
I think you should, you know, talk to Nesson about getting some better duds, you know, because Henrik, you should talk to him. That guy, and he's a good-looking man.
Got a spot
and
to
I
sit
can
with
say
Ben.
that.
What else? There you go.
But you know, as far as that national stuff, what were your thoughts as far as you know how that worked out? Because I love Sean McDonough. I think he calls a great game
Love
no matter
Sean
what
McDonough.
sport.
Yeah.
Color-wise, though, it's kind of like, you know, I don't know. I'd like to see guys like you.
I would love to see
And
him
guys like
actually,
Shane Knighty from Vegas be the color guys for the national broadcasts, and you know, and then have whoever's calling the game.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty good. You know, everybody's involved. I don't think they'd be involved if they weren't good or knew the game or could articulate and get their points across. You know, it gets down to who do you like, who don't you like, and that's, you know, that's whatever, subjective, objective, whatever. You know, you got ESPN, you got TNT. As far as TNT, they're trying to use the model that they use with the NBA.
Right.
I like Lundqvist when he talks about goaltending.
Yeah.
Right? I like Gretzky when he talks about his career and how he thought the game when he played.
I love that too.
He doesn't have to break out. He doesn't have to break the game down for me today. But like
Right.
one of the greatest plays of all time. Like I want to get in your head and how you saw it and the way you broke it down and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I think Bissonnette, despite his "let's go Toronto,"
Right.
despite that, I think he does the best as far as breaking the game down. Like I give him high marks for that.
I would
You know?
second that. Like
You
like he's very smart. Like he's he's not on there just being a goon. Like he's very hockey intelligent, and like he says it how it's
Yeah,
supposed
no,
to
he's
be. Right?
good,
Yeah.
and I think to your point, Mike. I mean, McDonough's awesome.
Yes.
He can call any sport.
Any sport.
He does a great game, and he works with Ray Ferraro. I like Ray.
Yep.
I think it's a little too packaged for me. I wish it would be a little bit more spontaneous. But
Right.
that's my own personal opinion. But I think they're all good. They're all really good. I think there's a lot of people out there that work with regional cables, like us at Nesson.
Yep.
That you have a lot of talented people that can break the game down. The national stuff is a paycheck. Like I'm right where I should be, right? I was 8-10 when the Bruins won the Cup in '70 and '72. I dreamed about being a NHL player. I dreamed about being a Boston Bruin. I dreamed about playing in the Stanley Cup final, and that all happened.
Yeah.
And now I've been doing the Bruins games for 25 plus years, whatever it is.
Incredible.
Like, how lucky am I, right? So
Right.
the national stuff, I don't need that. These guys are great. They're good at what they do. I'll
Right.
watch it. I love it. I love the playoffs. But there's a lot of really talented people that are in all the regionals that cover the National Hockey League.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to hate him when he played, PK Subban.
He does a
hated
great
that guy
job,
when he
man.
played. I did. And I hated him until I saw a story about him taking a bunch of inner city kids to the Montreal practice facility, setting them up with all new equipment. And he dressed up like an old bus driver, and he drove the bus, and then he went out there pretending he couldn't skate, and then he starts dangling.
Yeah.
That story changed my whole outlook on him.
Yeah.
And then as a broadcaster, I like him. I think, he brings that energy.
Charismatic, yeah.
And, he's not everyone's cup of tea. I think he does a great job. And, I wish I didn't hate him all those years, but he played for Montreal, so fuck him.
No,
we had to
that's
hate
it.
him.
No, I'm
But-
right with
because
you.
of the
I'm right with
territory.
you. I'm right with it. Look, I talk to a lot of guys, and I play the game a certain way. I saw the game a certain way. I process the game a certain way. But you try to be open-minded to how everybody else sees it, how the game is changing, evolving. Try to stay ahead of it, But I love talking to other players that played, and they played a different position. How do they see the game? Like, if you're a defenseman, it's coming at you a different way as to playing a forward. Stuff like, to me, that is fascinating.
Yeah.
And you can't get enough information, viewpoints, opinions, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
So, like-
and I love that.
Like
I love that.
I'm fascinated with goaltending. I always have been. Like Pete Peters was like my idol. I wanted to play
Peters,
goalie.
yeah.
Like I was just like fascinated with goalies. Like loved Andy Moe, Reggie Lemon. I love that era, that whole thing. Like, what do you think? You think Swayman's the guy? You think Swayman can carry this team?
I do.
I did when he first came in the league. I thought he was a phenomenal goaltender. I was psyched the Bruins got him just from the college history I had watching him and this and that. And I hope he's young. He's still really, really young. And goaltenders, like, look how long it took Tim Thomas, right? All these goaltenders. Let's just wrap a bow around them. You got the money. Let's run them. Like,
I think we all think we're invincible, right? And I think he thought he was invincible. So, when he played his cards and he held out and he experienced something that he had never experienced before, but he thought he was capable of handling it, and he couldn't.
yep.
It was, a life lesson.
So like
So-
everybody gets humbled. Yeah.
I'm optimistic about what happened in the World Championships. He had a great World Championship, even though I don't put a lot of stock in it. But I think it's a nice step into recovering and rebuilding and reestablishing exactly who he is. Because I have total belief in him.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes he has a little of that Tony Roberts kind of, you know, like when he does his interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
Like knock it off, you know. Like, but I believe in him, and I know he believes in himself, and I know he has the skill. And this is one of those ifs that we were talking about earlier, and it's the biggest if.
Yep.
That reestablish who you are, what we all believe you are, and what you think you are, and I think it's going to happen.
I 100% agree, and I think mentally, like they trade Omar, I think they should have signed him the next day, right? Like you're
I think
telling
everybody
him,
did.
Well, but everyone expected it, but you're telling him you're the guy, and then you dick around with money on him. Like, why not just sign him the next day? And I know it's a business, I know the lot goes into it, but that, I personally think that's what got in his head. And that just kind of led into, like you said, he went through something he's never been through.
Yeah.
And that bled into the season, missing the, you know.
Yeah,
the
so I
training.
don't know the relationship between the player and the agent, but, you know, one of the most important things in that relationship is that the agent works for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And usually the tail wags the dog in that situation, which I don't like, but that's a discussion for another time. But I didn't like the timing of the trade by Boston, and I understand they tried to trade him the year before. He was going to go to LA. That's what we heard. He had a no trade, nixed the deal. So now they make the deal.
That would
with
have been an
Otto.
awesome trade.
Now they make the deal with Otto. But the timing of the deal allows Jeremy to have the leverage
Yeah.
to hold out. Like I didn't understand that, the calendar of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I know Jeremy's getting pressure from the union and from the agent. You got to hold out. You know, if we're going to drive salaries up for goaltenders, you got to hold out. Like, I hate that part of the game. I hate that part of the business.
Because then it makes him look like he's the one driving it, and he's really
And
not
that's why I
driving
say,
it. And like
the
right.
agent's working for you,
Right.
And I want him to say, no, let's sign. Like,
Yeah, let me
this
get.
is where I want to be. They dealt Omar to commit to me. I'll commit to the team. Let's get a deal done. Like, and it goes a different direction.
I mean,
and it was a disaster.
that's where the
So you
like,
go into the season with a
what's-
coach without a contract, a captain without a contract, a goaltender holding out. It's no wonder they went.
Wow.
where they ended up
Speaking
going.
of the
Yeah.
coach heading in, right?
Yeah.
Like that whole Jim Montgomery thing, right? Like him coming into a season without getting a contract, like that to me, like I knew him from college hockey. I ref the NCAC in Denver, so like I knew Jim for quite a while. And great guy. I think he's a phenomenal coach.
He is.
And like for the Bruins, like for me, I was psyched the Bruins got him, number one. And number two, I go, how are you not extending him? I go, now he's a lame duck going into the season. And I go, how is the team going to rally around a coach that doesn't have a
Playoffs.
contract?
He's
right?
not- he was
He
not
had one
successful.
shot, for Christ's sake.
He was
Jesus
not
Christ.
successful in the playoffs. We've
done
argued
this.
this, but I think some of the decisions he made, especially in that Florida series, really hurt their ability to win
But
that
can you?
series.
But if you have the guy and you entrust in the guy, right? Can you live with a mistake to move forward for him to learn with the mistake and then be better the next time around? Like, do you have that? Do you have that much trust in the guy to do that or no?
Well,
That's how I look
he
at it.
had two chances.
He had one chance.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's
I
just
hated
me.
the fact they moved on from Butchie. Like I, thought,
I hated that too. Oh, Butchie was my
Butchie's
guy.
a great coach. All right,
yeah.
so
He's my
he
guy.
leaves, he goes wins a cup. You know, Monty leaves, he takes that St. Louis team, he does great things with it. So it tells you they're quality coaches.
Yes.
Right, they're very good.
Yep.
So the reasons they got let go, they got fired, or they severed ties, we're not in the room, we don't know.
Exactly.
You know?
Could be for a number of reasons.
Yeah, it could be. Could have been money, couldn't find, common
Personalities,
ground.
who knows,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Exactly. Like one coach could be saying, like, my GM's telling me to play X, Y, and Z because they're all draft picks, and he could be saying, well, they can't play.
Right.
It could be anything. We don't know.
True. Very true.
All I know is they're quality people and quality coaches.
Right.
But that's life in the NHL, right?
Yep.
And Joey Sacco did a great job with the hand that he was dealt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he knew what he was accepting. He was willing to do it. He was a good soldier, and I think they rewarded him for it financially. And now
That's
he's
good.
moved on, right? So
Yeah.
They got a good coaching staff over there in
this,
New York.
And this walks us into another if, right?
Right.
Right?
Yep,
Marco
Marco.
Sturm. Is he the guy?
Right.
That's another big if.
Yeah.
This is where we're headed. But I I've been lucky to be tight with all the coaches that have come through here. They've educated me on life in the NHL in this generation compared to when I was playing. The way they approach the game, the way they see the game, the way they deal with 25 different personalities. You know, when you can throw a fastball into the chin to a player and when you can't, you know, all that stuff. And I love that. It's,
Yeah.
you know, and my job is to, you know, create a relationship with these guys so that they can trust me, trust Nesson, you know, that we have their back, but we still have to tell you the way it is at the same time. So,
Right.
you know, and they've all been great. They've all been great. You know.
And that's one thing I really, you know, other sports in this town, you know, people that work for the team, they do sugarcoat a lot. But like the Bruins, we never done it. Like we tell it how it is, and it's like, too bad, right? Like, you suck, we'll let you know.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I think it's a little bit better than other sports in this town.
Now, the Marchand trade.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, thoroughly disappointed. I was hoping they could work something out with him. I'm a huge Brad Marchand fan.
Right.
Same.
Yeah, we are
You
too.
know,
huge.
and we all know he's crossed the line multiple times, been fined, suspended for, you know, actions unbecoming. But of all the players I ever played with, you know, in my 12 or 13 years that I played, and then all these years I've been doing, you know, TV and radio, maybe, certainly top three, but maybe the strongest willed to compete and win player I've ever come across. And when you let a guy like that walk out the door, it bothers me.
I agree.
100%.
I mean,
Especially when you have a room that is in a little turmoil. You know, I can't let that guy walk out the door. I need him. I need him here for the future of the team. And when he left, it was bothersome, and it surprised me.
Yeah.
You know, like we were in Tampa. Judd and I we're in Tampa with the Bruins, and it's trade deadline, and you know, we're doing stuff for Ness, and we're outside, and we got our cell phones out, and then it came like after 3 o'clock or right at 3 o'clock.
Right.
And I was like, what? You know,
Yeah.
what's going on here? You know, like,
crap.
Yeah.
so it bothered me. It disappointed me. I thought it was a huge loss. I think it impacted the room and the culture and everything that the Bruins have established over the last 20 plus years.
He's the last of that era.
And just to flip it on the other side, so happy for him that he won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So.
And do you think Florida now, I mean, they're really on the verge of reeling off another 2 or 3,
Why not?
right? I
Why
mean,
not?
they
They
have
can go on a
all the
run.
pieces.
Why
They can
not?
go on a run.
I mean, they signed Marchand and Bennett, which everyone
And
said,
Ekblad.
oh,
And
Ekblad.
Ekblad.
And then everyone was like, you can only get 1, not 3. And they pulled off all 3.
Yeah.
And they have Bob and
Yeah,
Net.
and
I mean,
they may pay a price in the future.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they may be hamstrung 3 years from now, and they'll have to figure it out again after that. But Zito seems to, he knows what he's doing. But yeah, I mean, potential dynasty, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
Bruins will get
going into this year. Like, I mean, I know it's early, but you got to go through Florida if you're going to win.
you do.
Like that's
I
how
mean,
good they are.
back to back.
That's how good they are.
That's it.
And I think
And coaching,
Marchand
too.
getting added to that team allowed Kachuk to not have to play the minutes that he
Sure.
would have had to play,
Sure.
which helped him with being injured.
Absolutely.
But I think the most underrated or I don't want to use the word underappreciated because I'm sure they appreciate it, but Barkov, I mean, look at the centers he shut down, right? He shut down 3 top centers
Yeah.
in 3 different series,
that-
right? Matthews, Aho,
That's
and
a
then
big
McDavid,
story, yeah.
Draisaitl, right? Without Barkov, they don't win.
Right.
He didn't have all the goals. He wasn't in the Conn Smythe talk. But that guy, for me, is... And
That's
I like
the
him.
Bergeron.
He's a bigger Bergeron.
Yeah.
Bigger version of Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah.
I mean...
So, random thoughts, and they're not connected, but I'm going back to Marchand. So, my problem with Marchand leaving Boston and going to Florida, and if you're going to be a sustained elite franchise in the league, whenever you lose a player, right, whether it's through trade or free agency.
After the
That
place.
player, no matter where he goes, I need him in that room. I need Marshawn being in that room in Florida saying, you know, playing in Boston was awesome. It was awesome. We couldn't work it out financially. They were going in a different direction. I wanted to stay. But it just didn't work out. It's an awesome place to play. That's the message I need him saying in Florida.
Right.
Not sitting there going, you know, I got mistreated there. They didn't make me a good offer. Like, that's bad business.
Right.
Okay, that's good. So that's one random thought. The other thing about, the game of hockey, and you talk about Barkov, right? The greatest compliment I ever got as a hockey player was from Ray Bork. And you know what he said to me? He said, Brick, I love playing with you because you're always open. Okay? So if he's got the puck, he knows he can give it to me because I'm open. So what does that tell you? It says, no matter how skilled you are, no matter goals, assists, offensive, like, the best player in the game, when he's on the ice, say
Relies on you.
Say McDavid's on the ice, and I'll use a forward. McDavid's on the ice for 27 minutes. Of those 27 minutes, he has the puck maybe 2.5 minutes. Maybe?
Yeah. That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the puck for 25 minutes. So what are you doing with those 25 minutes? That determines who good players are, and that's Barkov. Like, right?
Yeah.
That's him to a T.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way of
What are
looking
you
at it.
doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing when you don't have the puck? Because that's the majority of the game.
Right.
Right.
So I don't know if you can connect those dots with me.
Oh, yeah, no.
Ray
Oh, I
telling
do,
me
yeah.
like, Brick, you're always open. Like, so yeah, I knew how to play when I didn't have it, right? I might not toe drag somebody. I might not,
You might
blow
not get
by
the high,
somebody.
Yeah, you're not gonna
you
get
know,
the highlight reel, but
right. But
Right.
I was always open. I was always in the right place. I understood all the moving parts, and that's Barkov.
Yeah.
That's Barkov. And those are great players
Yeah, they
that
are.
fans don't understand.
Right.
Like, it took a lot of people to come around to know how good Bergeron was.
Yeah.
100%.
People in
Yeah.
the game. People in the game. Analysts, right?
Yeah.
Like they didn't understand how good Bergeron. We got to see him every day. I got to see him every day. I knew how good he was.
Right.
I understand the game. I understand his value. A lot of guys don't understand how good that is because he doesn't have the puck. He's not, he's not a high.
He was a true
He was
pro.
just an unbelievable player. And that's
yeah.
what Barkov is.
Well, and Bergeron, I think, had he not been that 200-foot player and arguably one of the best for a long period of time, he puts up 40, 50 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that talented offensively, but
Yeah.
no one realized that because of all the work he did in the defensive zone, shutting people down.
Right.
I mean, he's one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
As
just
well
so
he
good.
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Now, I want to bring up something that I think is a great lesson for people. You were drafted last. Right? And I only bring it up. I only bring it up
Is
because
the show winding down? Is that
Yeah,
what
yeah,
that
no.
I gotta pee, so hurry up.
I
No.
wanted to bring it up. You always have to. I wanted to bring it up because it's a testament to one, your personality, your work ethic, your drive, your compete level.
Yeah.
One of only 2 guys that actually played in the NHL that was drafted last.
Yeah.
Did you use that as motivation? Like, because a lot of guys in that situation wouldn't do what you did and I mean, you had a great NHL career.
It was a piece of it. It wasn't the driving force. So 1980, 21 teams in the league, 10 rounds. I got drafted 210th. They're picking names out of the hat just to get the draft over with, and my name came up. But, but the stuff that drove me, and this is a lengthy story. Like, I was a late bloomer. I was a walk-on in college. I didn't make my varsity high school team till I was a junior. Like, it was a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a thing. I knew I knew I was a good athlete. I knew I was a good player. I had belief in myself and all that stuff. And eventually I would get there. It just took a little time. But what drove me was the league in 1982, 83 was about 2% American. That's what drove me.
Same with the officiating.
Yeah.
Okay? So things were happening. Bobby Carpenter came out of high school, went directly to the NHL,
yeah, Bobby
right?
Carp.
Kim, his kid. Obviously, Miracle in 80. Like,
Yep.
things were happening that said, well, maybe these Americans can play. But I'll tell you, like, trying to play professional hockey as a 20-year-old, as an American, as the last pick in the draft was a challenge.
Gonna be
And
tough.
you had to let everybody know that this is what I want to do. I'm all in.
Right.
I'm all in, no matter what it takes. So it really wasn't being the last pick in the draft. It was a compilation of a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
was going on that was driving me. But it was my dream. It was my
Yep.
dream, and I was going to give it every chance I could, every shot, no matter what it took. And I was fortunate enough to make it happen.
It's so awesome. And it's funny, Paul Stewart brought that up too, the American part.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of validates, you know, I tell people I only lasted a week because I was American. That's why I only lasted a week in the NHL. They realized they hit the quota, and then they call me back. And, you know, it sounds like, oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's a
There's a lot of
legitimate
truth to
thing.
that, yeah.
It
You know?
still exists today, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%.
It does.
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole Four Nations thing was like, you know, clearly evidence that, you know, like, it's there.
Yeah.
It exists.
Yep.
And it's not a bad thing. It's not
No.
a bad thing.
No.
It's not a bad thing, you know.
How good are the Olympics going to be? Do you think they're going to be good?
Well, I'm on the other side of that fence. Like,
Okay.
I love 1960. I love 1980. I like the United States being amateur.
oh,
I don't care.
100%.
I don't care what the other countries do. I
Okay.
don't care. You know, send your pro players, whatever. But I know when I was coming out of UNH, you know, like I was an All-American. I was a junior. I was on the fast track for the '84 Olympic team. I had a chance to be, you know, Hobie Baker. Like, there was a lot of reasons for me to stay in school after my junior year.
Right.
And I knew if I turned pro that I would lose my chance to play in the Olympics. I think that's the way it still should be. You have to make that decision. What do you want to do?
Right.
I like it.
I might be in the minority with that opinion, but
Well, no,
if the NHL players didn't play in the Olympics, I would have no problem with that.
right. No, I
It's what I would prefer.
yeah, I would rather that too. I mean, for multiple reasons. It kind of interrupts the season. You know, it
Yeah, true.
exposes guys to injury. And all those factors from the NHL standpoint, but
Distraction.
You know, when it would also, I think, force kids to stay in school longer because they might want that opportunity to play for their country instead of jumping to pro, you know, early. And that's just me thinking out
Well,
loud.
I
but-
have this naive opinion of the Olympics as being amateur athletes, right?
Yeah.
And that's the way I like it,
right.
you know. And the argument was, well, you know, the Russians are sending their pro teams, and, you know, okay, they can do whatever they want.
Right.
But we'll beat them.
Well,
Yeah, and we'll
that
still
was-
beat them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was back in the day too. That Russians didn't play in the NHL. I mean, that was kind of pre-defection.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Before Fedorov
true,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
first one, and then you know the five came over to Detroit. But that was before. That never happened. There was no Russians in the NHL
Right.
in 1980. So it was kind of. That's why they had their pro team, and we
Yeah.
had the amateurs.
Yeah.
And you know, and I think now, I think the Olympics historically were amateur athletes, but now more and more sports and more athletes in different sports. I mean, they're really pro athletes.
You know, I represented my country in the World Juniors. I played in the World Juniors in 1980, and then I played in the World Championships in '92. So I
That's
was
cool.
lucky enough to, you know, to wear the red, white, and blue, and I was lucky to do that. But, you know, for these guys that, you know, turn pro early and never get a chance to represent their country, I mean, that's a decision you got to make, and I wish it was still there.
Right. Right. Utah. I want to bring up Utah.
You just like
because
saying the word Utah.
Utah. You don't like the way I say
love
Utah.
I love
Yeah,
the way.
what about you?
You don't like Utah.
I love Utah. I love it.
Well,
Salt
because
Lake
you
was
played
awesome.
for the Grizzlies.
Yep.
And that was
I
kind of
refed
the
it,
first
yeah.
pro team that you know, you moved from Colorado. I know a little history.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But now Utah gets the NHL,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and you were there well before that was even a thought. Just playing there
Yeah.
before, like, I guess, what was your experience in Utah?
Well, first of all,
Sucks breathing.
they had professional hockey history. They had the Golden Eagles.
That's right. Yeah, they have
You
a
know,
protein
yeah.
there. Yeah.
And they had a lot of success and everything. And then for whatever reason, I don't know, the ownership issues or whatever, but they lost their franchise and it was gone. Okay? And just historically, so Denver wanted NHL. Okay? So they had the Broncos, the Nuggets, right? They had the Rockies. They wanted hockey. They were hockey starved. They had been there. The league had been there. They had failed. Late 70s, Don
Yep.
Cherry, all that stuff. And the league was a little reluctant to go back there. So they put a team in Denver. It was the minor league team for the Islanders. I played on that team. And they made sure the team was really good. Like, we had NHL caliber guys that were in their late 20s, early 30s. We were a wagon, okay? I think we lost, counting the playoffs, I think we lost 2 games after January 1st.
Jesus.
All right. So we win the Turner Cup. Okay. So it sends a message to the league that we had 17,000 at McNichols Arena watching an IHL playoff series.
Wow.
So the NHL says, okay, we need to go back to Denver. So they broker the deal. They take Quebec. Quebec goes to Denver. They become the Avalanche. Now our franchise has to leave because we can't coexist with the Avalanche.
Right.
So we went over to Salt Lake because they had lost the Golden Eagles. There was a vacancy. So that's how we got to Utah. Just history.
All right.
And by the way, the Avalanche won the cup the first year they were in.
That's right.
But they did.
That's
All
right.
So now the team that went from Denver to Salt Lake, we had about 6, 7 guys that were on the same team. Like, we lost a lot of guys. Guys got chances to go play somewhere else, and because we were champions, you get a chance and get new contracts somewhere else. And so we had 6 or 7 guys that went to Utah. So then we had to go into Utah and establish ourselves as a different franchise, a different team, different ownership and everything. And it was a home run. We crushed it. We crushed it. And we were good. We weren't as good as Denver, but we were good. And we won again. We won another championship, right? And they love hockey. They love hockey. Like, you put a good product on the ice, they love it. They understand the game. They're passionate about the game. So for the fact that the NHL going there, like, I thought it took too long. Like, I thought they should have been there
Good point.
sooner.
Yeah, why do you
Because
think
the
it took so
market's
long?
there.
Yeah.
Well, they don't think there's corporate dollars. That's always the issue, right? Corporate
Right,
dollars.
right.
That's why there's not a team in Quebec anymore. No corporate dollars, But,
Yeah,
but
we just out there.
Utah loves hockey. They're a hockey fan base. They understand the game. They have a history, and we were lucky enough to kind of be a stepping stone to push it in that direction, So,
Yeah.
yeah. That was a fun year. I
Oh,
had a brother.
sure.
I had a brother that lived out there. So,
Yeah, yeah.
And he officiated in the league, and like he told me, he goes, "Get into a fight, I'll hold the other guy off."
Yeah, perfect. That's how it goes.
Right? I mean, he was instrumental in the building hockey out there.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
He started a lot of grassroots hockey programs out there. Started men's leagues, and yeah. Unfortunately, we lost him, but he's
Yeah.
he's well regarded for for what he brought to Salt Lake in terms of hockey.
yeah.
And I have a nephew that played in the NHL.
Yep.
My
That's
brother's
right.
son.
Yeah, I
Got a
ref him
got a
when
chance
he
to
was in the
play-
minors. Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
a chance to play for the Kings, and
Yeah.
now he's
Tough
making,
kid, too.
a living playing over in Europe. So yeah. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Utah's a good experience for me personally.
Right.
But I think it's been great for the league. Yeah.
Now, you were just out there.
I was in Park City. Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter played in the Roses series.
Yeah.
Tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a goalie. I'm screwed.
Love Park City.
Park City was awesome. Gorgeous town. Like,
Yeah.
I've been to Salt Lake. I was there a bunch of times refereeing the minors, but I never made it over to Park City. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Expensive, but nice.
Well, and
Good golf up there.
You know where all the golf courses are, right?
Well, the playoffs is,
You got
May-
a long day. Yeah, you got a
May and
days
June.
off for the playoffs.
it's
Yeah.
May and June. What am I going to do in between games? I got to play a little golf.
You get
Of
4
course
days
you
off. Yeah.
You love the Florida loop, right? That's the best one in the winter. We talked about it before with Travis Jackson, one of our guests, and I was just up in Alaska. Do you think Alaska could support an NHL team?
Never been, so I
Okay.
can't give you a first-hand opinion on that. I'm a huge fan of Alaska. I would love to go there. I'd like to experience all that Alaska has to offer. I'm open-minded to expansion, anywhere in North America.
Love it.
I don't like Europe. I don't
Right.
like that.
I don't like that
concept.
either.
I don't
Yeah,
like that
I don't
concept.
like. No.
Right.
But anywhere in North America, yeah. You want to take another shot at Atlanta? Sure. You want to go to Houston? Sure. You want to go to Alaska?
Not doing
Sure.
Houston.
You want to go to Kansas City? Sure. I'm open-minded.
Yeah.
I'm open-minded. It's above my pay grade. I don't know when I played, I was a player rep. I was heavily involved in the business of hockey,
Right.
and that interests me at that time. Now it doesn't.
Makes sense.
Leave it up to somebody else to figure it out. But yeah, you want to expand. Let's go to Alaska. Absolutely.
What
Let's go.
city do you think might do the best?
I think Houston.
Houston?
I do.
Well, the population there is huge.
It's a huge TV market,
Yep.
population, natural rivalry with Dallas. I think just those three things alone give
Yeah.
you a chance to, if you have good ownership and you have a good location with your building, you can make it work.
Yeah.
And you've seen it.
I ref down there. I mean, Houston's night. The downtown shuts down, but the outskirts of Houston's are awesome. Houston's a great little.
It's one of the
area.
biggest cities, square mile wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah.
Huge.
One of the biggest in the city. So
Yeah.
in the country. So it's
I just stay right
it's
downtown.
definitely got the
It's awesome.
population. Alaska had the Aces, which were they were East Coast League.
Yeah, East Coast.
But I think the travel was just too expensive for them for a team in that league.
I wouldn't mind if they went back to Quebec, and I know it's not going to
Quebec's
happen,
awesome.
but have you been to Quebec City?
Yes.
I haven't been up to Quebec
It's
City.
phenomenal.
You played in that Pee Wee tournament, right?
did.
Yeah, I played for the
Right.
Junior Terriers. Yeah, I played in that. Yep.
I went
Awesome.
back. I don't know how long ago it was.
The
A couple of
Coliseum.
years ago, and I went back and I looked at all the rosters from the teams when I was in the.
Oh yeah, right. And
Right.
see who?
I came across 45 kids that played in the NHL
No shit.
from when I was there.
That's
'Cause
awesome.
I was there the year Gretsch was there.
Okay.
So
I mean that's.
So you played against
That's-
him as a Pee Wee.
I didn't play against them.
But he was there.
We were at the same tournament.
Oh, okay.
I was playing for a team where you picked your team from 20,000 people, and he was playing on a team that came from 100,000 people, or whatever. it
Right,
was.
right.
We were in a different bracket.
Okay.
But I went back and I searched all the rosters, and I'm telling you, it was 40 players that were there
Wow.
in that Pee Wee tournament that ended up playing
So
at
we
least
had-
one game in the NHL.
Yeah, we had two
That's
teams
cool.
out of the round robin that made it. Us and the Flames went, and we lost to this team from Toronto. They were the Toronto Red Wings, and then they were phenomenal. We lost 3-2 in the quarterfinals to them, and then they got caught because they had kids that were older on the team, motherfuckers.
Like the Koreans back in
Yeah.
Little League World Series.
And these kids are they were biggest they were just another level.
they were shaving.
We
As a
lost.
Pee
We
Wee.
lost to a team from Barrie, Ontario. We were one and done. We went up there. We lost. Right, it was one game elimination.
Yeah.
Wow.
At that time, we lost to Barrie, and when I was playing for Pittsburgh in '83, my right wing was a kid named Dougie Shedden.
Oh yeah,
He played for Barrie
no kidding.
at
No
the
kidding.
Pee Wee tournament.
So Doug Shedden was the coach I believe he coached the Louisiana Ice Skaters when I was refereeing the
No
East Coast
shit.
League.
Oh,
He did.
Shedden.
He
Yeah.
did.
Wow, that's funny.
Doug Shedden, and we had some battles, but we got along pretty much, okay.
Yeah, I
But,
played on a line that year in Pittsburgh. This is pre-Mario, right? So Mike Bullard was the center. I was the left wing. Dougie Shedden was the right wing. Shedzy had, I think, 30 that year. Bully had 51, right? And we finished dead last on purpose
To get mine.
To get
to
mine.
get married.
So
That was back before the lottery. So if you finished last, you got the first pick.
oh,
So that-
right,
So we
right.
made sure we finished last. So
There you go.
We heard it here.
They did the same thing for Crosby.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Pittsburgh kind of has a little history there.
Mike
They're
Bullitt
doing it
had
again?
51 goals.
Wow.
That year.
Wow.
I didn't realize Doug Shedden had that many.
Sheds was a good.
That's
he was a good
30
scorer.
goals in the National Hockey League is incredible.
Well, because that was kind of a lesson for me in that, you know, as a referee, you don't know who's on the bench, right? And in that league, we had Ted Sater, we had Doug Shedden, we had John Marks,
Yeah.
John Brophy,
Oh,
Chris Nyland,
Brof. Oh.
you know, and yeah, so it's like, you know, when you go over to talk to them, as
Yeah,
a first year ref in the league, even, you know, and I was a little older, but still, you're going over and you're going, John Marks in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
All the coaches in the
You
National
know?
Hockey League now, Weigel had coming up.
Yeah,
in
Bruce
the American.
Boudreau.
All
Bruce
of them.
Boudreau was there too. He
God,
coached
Gabby.
Mississippi,
All
the
of them.
Seawolves.
Yeah.
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 So it was.
I played with Bedreau. So I played against him when I was young, right? He was in the American League when I was playing in Maine my first year. He was Toronto's farm team, you know, putting up 120 points in the American League, whatever. And then 3 years later, I'm playing in Baltimore, and he was playing in Europe. And back in those days, the European season ended early.
Yep, and
so
then they
guys
come
would
back.
come back and join your team. So he joined us in Baltimore, and we ended up going to the final that year. And so I lived in a hotel with him, right? Because I got sent down by Pittsburgh, so, you know, I didn't have an apartment. So, and, you know, we would sit in the bar all night long, and he would play the same song every time on the jukebox.
No kidding.
Oh, Sweet Pea. And I was like, I'm like, really? Yeah. Like, I like oldies, but come on, that's ridiculous.
Love it. That's awesome. And what kind of player was he? Was he
Super talented, great
Yeah.
hands, great power play guy. Not the most in shape guy I ever played
Well,
with.
I was going to say, you look at him and you go,
Yeah. Well,
Come
you
on,
can
he-
tell, right? You know.
yeah, he doesn't look like.
Yeah,
the
but,
guy-
those guys drive
but
you
the
nuts,
way
so
he
they
played,
put
he
up
didn't
50.
have to be. He didn't
Yeah.
have to be. you
Right,
know.
right. Okay.
Super smart, great anticipation, great hands, great offensive guy. You know, if you had one forward like a left wing lock kind of guy, then he was dynamite. You know,
Really?
Yeah, yeah, he was awesome.
It's just funny because you look at him and
That's
you're like,
funny.
no way.
Yeah, great coach. Had a great coaching
Oh,
career too.
fantastic coach.
Yeah.
He was great down there too.
Yeah.
He
So
was-
that team. So my first year pro, I played in the American League final, playing for the Maine Mariners. I was drafted by Philly. We played the Rochester Americans, and we lost 4 straight. And that team was coached by Mike Keenan.
No. Wow.
So then I go back to so then I go and I played Pittsburgh for a couple of years. I get sent down to the minors. I play in Baltimore. We play in the finals against Sherbrooke, which was the Canadians' final team.
Yep.
Right.
That was 85,
Yeah.
right? Goalie was by the name of Patrick Waugh, right?
Oh shit.
And then Patty went to Montreal the next year with Richer, Lemieux, you know, guys like that.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
won the cup in 86.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they won the Calder in 85 against us. And then they go to play in the NHL, and then they won the Stanley Cup. Patrick Waugh was a rookie, right? And
Yeah,
they won
yeah.
the cup in 86.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
and, then
one-
and then I played
That's wild.
again in the finals in the American League in 90, I want to say it was 93. I was playing in Moncton, and we played against Maine, but at that time they were the Portland Pirates, which
Okay,
was
yeah.
Washington's
Yeah.
farm team. Their 2 goalies were Defoe and Kolzik,
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
and we lost in 6 to them. Right? So I lost 3 times in the Calder Cup finals. And then I lost in the Stanley Cup finals when I was playing for the Bruins in 90. We lost
Yep.
to Edmonton. But then I won 2 Turner Cups in the IHL in Denver. So I was in 6 finals in 13 years.
That's
That's
not
fun.
bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned goalies, like that was always something fascinating for me, like in the American League, seeing all the goalies that were bouncing back and forth from the National Hockey. Like Braden Holtby when he came up, like he was in South Carolina when I was in the Coast League. Then he went to Hershey. Then he
Yeah.
right to Washington, right?
Yeah.
Like he was like I was watching him. I'm like, this kid's fucking legit.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's in the National Hockey League.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He
just
owned
like,
the Bruins.
Yeah, like
He
he
owned
did
the
own the
Bruins.
Bruins. Yeah.
Owned them.
And I like
Owned them.
I mean, the goalies you always talk to, and like I knew who they were and whatnot, right? And I'd be like, hey, when you play the Bruins, just take it easy on them, will you? Because I'm not making the National League.
Well, it's funny. The Charlotte Checkers were the Bruins affiliate in the East Coast League.
I remember.
I'll throw a name out, a goalie name. Yevgeny Ryabchikov.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he a first rounder?
First round pick.
Wow.
And he's down in Charlotte. And I'm thinking, oh, cool. I'm going to get to see this kid. He was so fucking bad. I mean, he
Swiss
couldn't
cheese.
stop a beach ball. The kid was awful. And I'm going, this is the future of the Bruins. I mean, he didn't last long. He didn't even last long in Charlotte.
Wow.
He was brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, first round pick.
That's funny.
And I was all excited because back then, not many NHL guys were sent down. It was mostly American League guys.
Like I used to always talk to like the
bounce down.
Providence guys. I'm like,
But-
like Ryan Spooner and guys like that. I'm like, when you getting called up, he goes, when someone dies. I'm like,
Well, you guys brought up, when I was the last pick, right? So I didn't know what the NHL draft was, right?
yeah.
So I was at UNH. I was a freshman at UNH. I went in there as a walk-on. I was trying to make that team. I had no idea about the NHL, right? So that summer after my freshman year, the NHL draft comes. All right, I get drafted last or whatever. I don't know anything about it, right? My uncle called me. He read it in the paper.
That's how you found out
Yeah.
that you got drafted.
Yeah. He called me and goes, hey, you got drafted. And at that time, there was like some strife going on in Grenada. Like he said, I got drafted. I was like, am I putting on fatigues here?
Yeah, where am I going? Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, the Philadelphia Flyers draft you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then the Flyers called me after that, said, welcome to the organization.
Yeah.
But he beat them to the phone call. That's how I
wild.
found out. Yeah. And now, the draft's on TV,
Oh, yeah.
and these kids
Yeah,
anticipate
oh,
it.
yeah, they
and-
got parties. Yeah.
So my experience was a little different than that.
Jesus.
Got a phone call from your uncle.
No, you walked on as a freshman, then you get drafted. I would hope that you got the Scully the next year.
Yeah,
Scholarship?
so I go in there as a walk-on, and I'm having a hard time competing with these guys. Like I can't keep up. My skating's a little iffy, and so like I got a work study job working at the rink. So I'm at the rink all the time, and I'm on the ice as much as I can. And I'm doubting myself,
Right.
And so practices became my games. Like I had to compete really hard in practice to see if I could get up to speed and compete with these guys. And some of these kids were 22 years old, and I was 17. So.
A little different than nowadays.
Yeah, and then it started to happen, and we'd scrimmage, and I'd get a couple of goals. Like I was good around the net, and then they finally said, well, we got to give this kid a shot in a game, right? So I played a non-league game against Air Force, right? And we beat them. I want to say we beat them 9-4, and I had 2 and 5 in my first college game.
Holy smokes.
Then they were like, ooh, maybe we should play him in a league game. So that's kind of how it started.
Wow.
And then it started to turn. But the biggest difference was when I was in high school, I got maybe 45 minutes of ice 3 times a week. Then I went to UNH and we had our own rink, and I could step on that ice anytime, all day, and my skating just totally turned around.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed to do. I needed to be a better skater
I'm gonna put the time in.
in order to compete.
That's it.
Now you have freshmen that are 22, 23. I mean,
know,
it's
it's
ridiculous.
It
The whole
is.
junior
It's
thing,
obscene how where it went, where
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. BU had a kid that won the Hobie Baker at 25.
That's crazy, right? I mean, that shouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Like I said, I went to UNH at 17.
Yeah,
years
yeah.
old,
that's, I was 17
And,
when I
and
started
everyone's
cutting.
doubting this kid Hagens on the year he had. The kid was 17, 18-year-old
Yeah.
freshman playing against men.
Yeah.
Right? Like wait till even when Pasternak had that talent, right? Like I had him in when he was in the American League, right?
Yeah.
For like a hot coffee.
Yep.
And I was like, wait till this kid gets his man muscles.
Yeah.
You're not gonna knock him off the puck. He's gonna be a superstar in this league, and that's what he is. And once Hagens develops, I think it's going to be a good draft pick for the Bruins.
Did you like that pick, Higgins?
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of amateur hockey, but I talk to those that do, and I pick their brain, and I don't let them tell me what I should think, but I take all the information and then make up my own mind, and then I watch him. I went to development camp. I watched him. He's a player.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
He's a player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
And he's a center. And whether or not he'll play center,
Yeah.
but the Bruins definitely.
He's a top six.
But here's the
goalie.
thing, I'm one of those guys that believes that don't make him something he's not.
Right.
When I was playing, Craig Janney, they try to make him something that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Don't ask him to do the stuff he's not good at. You hope he improves. You hope he digs in.
Right. Get the best out of his skill set you can possibly get out of, right?
He was like an incredible assist guy, and,
Oh, wicked.
a great
vision.
Yeah,
setter.
great vision. Yeah, the whole
Creativity,
yeah.
vision.
Hands,
He
speed.
was one of the only Bruins though back in those years. My girlfriend at the time was crazy for the Bruins.
Which one?
Not crazy for the Bruins.
Yeah.
And so we were standing out back waiting for the players to come out.
Yeah.
And Janie was the only one that didn't come over and sign her book. Yeah.
That's not a good memory.
No. Well, it stuck with me.
But
here's
the funny
Janney
thing.
autograph
All
stick.
these guys, right? They're all in great shape now. Everybody's fit and they're built for speed and all that stuff.
No one smokes in between periods.
Yeah, exactly. We were built differently. We lived differently and we built differently. But I remember we were down at Cape one time, and I ran with CJ and I ran with Johnny Carter, and we had our little crew, LB, God bless LB.
Yeah.
But we were we're on a beach in Cape Cod, and I'm talking to this young girl, and and I'm straight up. I don't play games. Tell her who I am, what I do, and I said, yeah, these are my teammates right here. I said, yeah, that's Craig Janney and Johnny Carter, and she looked at him and she goes, no way, they're not professional athletes.
We're gonna tell Carter.
Well, Carter was on the podcast.
They're like, no, that can't be that. They're like, look at them. No way, they're not professional athletes.
That's awesome.
But we were enjoying life.
Yeah, well, a little, and it's very different now.
Yeah,
where you got,
totally.
everyone has a personal trainer and the whole thing.
Yeah.
and-
I was always amazed at guys like, we already talked about Marchie, but like a guy like Bergeron, you see him in his suit, everything's streamlined. These guys are thin, we were built for boards in front of the net, cross-checking, we were top-heavy.
Yeah.
These guys are built for speed, they're streamlined.
Yeah, good point.
And you look at Bergie and you're like, how does that guy win 90% of the 50-50 pucks? When you look at him, you're like, no way.
Yeah.
Right.
No way.
Right.
Yep.
But super strong.
Never got knocked off the puck,
Super
yeah.
committed, super
Yeah.
will,
Well, a former guest of ours, Becca Peasy, who marathon runner,
Yeah.
she's the one that trained Chara to run the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
She ran 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents.
It has the record.
Come on.
Twice she did it, and she's in the Guinness Book of World Records. As a matter of fact, she just got in the Guinness Book of World Records again for running the North Pole Marathon and broke the world record.
Yep.
And it's the coldest marathon ever. I mean, she's just amazing.
Yeah.
But
She's
she
trained-
trained Bergie for a 5K.
There you
And
go.
Bergie ran and, wasn't sure if his time was good. And she was like, "Are you kidding? You're like an Olympic pace for a 5K."
Yeah, you crushed it,
It's
yeah.
like, why do you think that's not like, she was blown away by the shape he was in.
We used to practice in Wilmington.
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
They were Tusha,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
So things were changing. The landscape was changing. Dry land became important. Testing became important. So I'm playing for Rick Bonus in '92, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, so we got to do some testing. We went to Wilmington High School. We had to run the track. So we had to do a mile and a half in 9 minutes.
All right.
That's all right.
Well,
Okay.
That's tough.
That's a good pace. It's
But
not,
we were hockey players. We
right,
weren't
right.
runners.
Hockey
We
players
weren't
don't
runners,
like to
right?
run.
That was sprint.
No, never.
So, and for every pound that you're over 200, you got an extra second. All right. So I was like 215. Okay. I ran with LB.
How many seconds did he get?
He got about 30 extra seconds. And he said to me, Brick, get me through this. Pace me. Get me. Because I was in shape.
Yeah.
Him, not so much.
Right.
You know, like I said, I'll get you there. Just keep pace with me. And we were a group of 4. And Nevin Marco was on that group.
Oh, geez, see ya.
Yeah, he lapped us.
Yeah.
He lapped us.
Yep. No,
But LB got there.
on him.
LB got there. He
Yeah.
made it. Yeah, we ran together and he made it. Like,
And we bring up LB. Unfortunately, recently, LB passed.
yeah.
But you said the ceremony was pretty good.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, always bad circumstance when it comes to that stuff, but totally beloved guy, you know. He loved being a Boston Bruin. You know, he loved playing in the NHL.
Yeah.
He loved his teammates. Tough as nails,
Yeah.
you know. He was everything you wanted in a teammate.
Right.
You know, like I get a lot of fan mail to this day, believe it or not, you know, and some kids send questions. And one of the questions you get a lot is like, what's the best advice your parents gave you, like when you were a little kid? And I tell them, like, a lot of times I say, be the best teammate you can be, right?
I tell my daughter all the time.
Right? And that's what
Yeah.
LB was.
Yeah.
That's what LB
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
You know, whether you thought he was a good player or not, doesn't matter.
Be a
He
good
had
teammate.
your back, and he was the best teammate.
That 2011 team Bruins, they had each other's back.
Oh, yeah.
If someone got hit, every didn't matter who you were, first line, second line, third liner, goalie, they were dropping the gloves and they
Yeah.
were fighting. It did not matter. They were gonna. If someone got run, they all had each other's
Oh,
backs.
the best game was that Dallas game. Remember?
Yeah. Yes. That was unbelievable.
That was insane.
That one showed everybody, hey, big bad Bruins are here. Let's
yeah.
roll. You're
Yeah,
gonna fuck with
well,
us.
Soupy started it, right?
Well, yeah.
But he lined up against the other kid on. He didn't take the face off.
No, right.
He had a score to settle, but he lost that fight.
Right.
So as soon as he lost, Thorne's like, well, we can't let that happen.
Yeah, right. That was awesome.
And then McQuaid just killed somebody.
McQuaid had
Crater.
dead eyes. Like,
And-
you
and
don't
what-
fuck with dead eyes.
Right? Andy Ferentz kicked the.
Yeah, he jumped
Just
right in. Yeah, he was tough
But
as
the
nails.
best thing about that whole thing was Marshy was at the end of the Bruins bench, closest to the Dallas bench.
Yeah.
And he's leaning over, yelling down to. Do you know this thing?
Oh, yeah.
He's yelling down to Dallas, going, "Really? Really? You want to do this? We haven't even got to Lucic and Chara yet."
Right.
Like,
That was the team, right?
was
Like,
the team.
that was
That
the
was the
team.
big-
Like,
that was the
you
team.
could just, it was murderer's row. Like,
Yeah.
boy, child, like, you name them. Like,
yeah.
even Sight, like, they all could
Seidenberg.
fight. Like,
Yeah.
they all were tough.
Boychuk, Seidenberg, Ferentz, all
Yeah, that's
former
one of
guests
them.
on the show.
Yeah.
Actually, so
Yeah.
that's they were.
They were awesome.
Oh, that team was fun to watch.
Yeah.
That team was real fun to watch.
yeah.
So, well, Brick, we want to this.
Like, this was awesome.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could talk
we could do
hockey
another
all
couple
night.
more hours, man.
Yeah,
No,
we
we
could.
could. It's funny because I mean, a few of our guests, like Derek Sanderson, I think he would have went on for another 2 hours
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
didn't have the watch party going on.
I loved my conversations with him when I was playing and he was doing the color. Like, I'd see him in the hotel, we'd sit down and have coffee. He would walk me through the 70s. It was like,
That's so cool.
it was like heaven for me. You know?
Right?
Serious?
Yeah, it's
No.
hockey. Yeah, it's
I mean,
The
hockey
stories
porn.
he
It's,
told
yeah.
on this podcast were like, and a couple of them I had never heard. In
Yeah, it
interviews.
just, yeah.
You know, he went through the whole signing thing. He went through the whole.
Yeah, him not
bachelor
resign.
suite
Yeah, right.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was so
with,
cool, right?
Namath
Namath,
and
yeah.
starting daisies and
Yeah.
I mean, he was
awesome.
Yeah.
He was absolutely awesome.
Yeah. When he bought his rolls, he tell you a story when he bought his rolls.
He got his Rolls Royce.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, he was
Yeah,
quite the
great.
guy.
And a great player.
Oh,
Great player.
One of the
phenomenal.
best.
Great player.
Like, anybody like I talked to that's like the older generation, they were like, he was my favorite player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite player.
Yep. No, he's.
I mean, we knew Espo, Hodge, and Cashman. We knew Stanfield, Busick, McKenzie. We knew
Yeah.
Sanderson, Westfall, and whoever the left wing was. You know.
Right.
Could have been Wayne Carlton, could have been Donnie Marcotte, could have been Ace Bailey, could have been whoever, right?
Whoever,
I mean,
yeah.
we knew all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we lived with that stuff, you know. And Sandy was, imagine that. Imagine him being a third-line center. Like,
That's crazy.
That's how good they were.
Yeah.
That's how good they were.
Third lines, you need the best third line in hockey to win a championship.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think that's what makes the Bruins unique in a sense of the history that's there. I mean, they're original six, and Montreal has a similar thing, but like the Bruins just, and we talk about it, a lot of the guys stay here.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys,
Yeah, they
make
all stick
Boston their
around.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not guys that were from here,
Right.
guys that, Chara. I mean,
Bork,
he's
like
from
all of
Europe.
them.
Yeah.
Bork. There's so
Bergeron.
many guys that just
Yeah.
stay here.
Yeah.
And it really is a
go
testament
right
to
down
the
the
city
list.
and the love that the city has for the team and the team has for the city.
And the alumni is one of the best. I think in the National Hockey League with giving back to the community. Like
Yeah.
the Bruins alumni is probably the best in
Oh.
all of the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Frank Simonetti, president of the alumni currently.
Definitely in the conversation. You
Yep.
know, there's some
Yeah.
strong alumni across the league,
But
but we're as
We're
good.
biased.
We're as good
We're
as
biased.
anybody. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
as good as anybody.
Oh,
we,
yeah, no.
We play 35 alumni games.
you guys put a lot of effort into the communities. You do a lot of benefits for and help out a lot of people in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island. Not just Massachusetts.
And then you come up and show us how to bowl.
Yeah, he tried.
I do all right.
Yeah.
I do all right. Well, the only thing that saves me is every year I bowl next to Dougie Smith. And he makes me look like a professional.
I went to that this year.
Yeah, he
we
makes you
went
look
to
like
that.
Earl Anthony.
Yeah. He does. I do okay. I do. And one of the best things I think the Bruins alumni have partnered with is the Warrior for Life Fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got
that's
back
great.
from Face Off for Heroes out in Montana. That organization is just so incredible.
Yeah.
And the Navy SEALs,
Yeah.
like I've said it 100 times, they're my rock stars.
Yeah.
I mean, they're incredible. Matter of fact, we have John Eccles, who's a former Navy SEAL, coming on. Can't wait to talk to him. They're just amazing guys.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, we always say, like, and I already mentioned, those Bruins teams were my heroes, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And I won't step away from that, but the people, in the armed services that do what they do, that's real.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
real.
100%.
That's real. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, Brick, this has been awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, just a
thanks for
great
having
day. We golfed,
We did.
right?
We
You
did.
golfed far better than any of us. I was doing well for the first 4 holes.
I picked it up on the end.
Well, you were the opposite of me. I came out hard and then
I had a couple
completely-
sevens early that I finished strong.
You
Yeah.
did.
Like hockey is a very humbling sport.
It certainly is. Well, Brick, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks
Yes,
for having me.
thank you.
Super
Yeah.
appreciate
This
it.
was
Look
awesome.
forward to
My pleasure.
another season of you in the booth.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, go bees.
we're huge fans. We were
Yeah.
huge
Yeah,
fans. when
huge
you
fan of
played.
you, and yeah, absolutely.
Huge fans.
It's
now
right
you're
around
in
the
booth.
corner. It's
Yeah.
right around the corner. And we
before
said
you know
earlier,
it.
a lot of ifs have to happen if we want this team to be the team that we want it to be, but it can happen.
Let's be the
It can
ifs, and then at the trade deadline, let's make a run.
It can happen.
Things look all right. The Patriots look like they might do something.
Trust the process.
They have
I
a lot
like
of
it.
ifs,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
Red Sox
Yeah.
have just one big giant if.
Yeah.
Celtics have a lot of it. I mean, but the future is pretty bright for Boston.
Right on.
And the Free Jacks, they won another rugby championship. They're
How
out of
about that?
Quincy. The Free Jacks.
There you go.
I
Named
I
after.
wish I knew the rules to that game because I like watching
Put the
it.
banner
Rugby's
on.
great.
Yeah,
I just
add
don't
the
know the
banner.
I don't
rules,
get it
but I
either.
like watching it.
I don't get when they all pile together and then the ball scoots out of someone's ass and then they run. I don't
Did you,
fully
guys,
get
did
it.
you guys play lacrosse?
I did, yeah.
He did. I wanted
I
to.
never saw it till I went to college
I played in high school.
because it wasn't a public school sport.
Right, right.
I never saw it till I went to college and I went to a lacrosse game. I'm like, what is that? Because I want to play
Yeah.
that.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel that way about rugby. I like watching rugby. I don't know the rules though.
Yeah, right. I don't know either.
I don't know the game.
No, I refereed lacrosse for a few years. Your dad got me into it, but it took a while to learn those rules because there's some crazy
That you
rules.
make them up, yeah.
But look at it. The first couple of years,
Turnover.
I was like, yeah,
Blue
I don't know
ball.
what I'm doing. Adam Oates, leading points in Canada.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's all similar skills. So I always wanted to play too, but they didn't have it until after I graduated.
Wow.
So
Well, hey, thanks for having me today.
no, thanks for.
No, you guys are great hosts. Great conversation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
thanks for everybody, Harmon and Greg and everybody. Awesome,
Oh, yeah.
awesome day.
No, it was.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We've been
day.
trying to hook up for a while now,
Hey,
so
you
I'm
know
glad
what?
we
Yeah,
finally
appreciate you coming
we finally
on.
got on the same
We
page.
finally, and we're on the same course, which is perfect. Because that worked out, I think, rather well.
It did.
The golf aspect, for sure.
Yeah, it's
So,
great. Yeah,
awesome.
thanks.
Andy Brickley, everyone. Want to thank him for joining the Chirping Zebras.
Episode 73. Like and subscribe. YouTube, all your social medias, the TikTok.
The
You
TikTok.
name it. Like and subscribe.
Yep, and check out Harmon Golf Club. They're awesome here. They have a gym. They have a chipping course. They have a regular 9-hole course. They
It's
have
the
a
best training
restaurant, a
facility
bar.
for golf in the state.
They gave me a sweet shirt. They
I-
gave you.
I
Nice
acquired the hat. I told the kid to put it on my account. I think he did or didn't. I don't know. We'll find
Yeah.
out.
Well, mine was. I just
Acquired it.
Greg Simeone, the owner here. We want to thank him too.
Yes, Greg, thank you very much for
so
making this happen.
Thank our sponsor, the Referees Crease.
Yeah.
Your dad, one-stop shop for all your refereeing needs, and of course AOA
AOA
Studios.
Studios.
Cam Iandola was in the house and did all the work here today, and we really appreciate them. They
Track
do a
down
great
from Beverly.
job.
Thank you.
Yep. So like and subscribe on the YouTube. We hit 1,000, by the
We
way.
did. Yes. Thank you guys, all our subscribers. Thank
We
you.
hit 1,000, so we're actually making money. I don't know how much, but we're making money.
We're going to make a jump now.
So follow us on the socials, and we'll see you next time right here on the Chirping Zebras.